With the growing number of beat-em-ups on modern consoles, it's harder and harder to stand out, but Bloody Zombies is trying to do just that. But is this game a superb zombie slugfest, or is it more like a bloody bore? Bloody Zombies is an up to 4-player locally or online multiplayer beat-em-up game, featuring a decent amount of levels and zombies to punish. The game all takes place in London after a zombie apocalypse has occurred, and you'll be battling your way through the likes of carnivals, schools, and underground subway systems. Your combat's pretty standard for a beat-em-up, where you have your weak and strong attacks that you can combo in different ways, a grab attack to be able to punch and then throw your enemies, you have a jump button to of course jump and beat up enemies in the air, as well as being able to do some of the game's platforming, which is okay at its strongest, and the same goes for the rolling dodge mechanic, which didn't seem to work all that much for me. There's also a button that's used primarily for either activating switches, picking up items, and a few of the special moves that you're able to pull off. You're also able to hit 2 of the shoulder buttons to do a spin attack in order to get rid of a group of enemies that have surrounded you, though unfortunately this takes away health and doesn't really do a whole lot of damage to the enemies. What sets the game apart a bit is the ability system. You have 4 different categories of skills that you're able to use in battle, some of which you'll be inputting a button combo in order to pull them off, and other ones are passive, where you hit a certain combo marker and then they automatically go off. You can only have 1 selected per skill category at a time, and you get these randomly by beating up enemies. They'll just occasionally drop them, or you can buy them in one of the shops in the game. You'll be gathering money throughout, and there are a handful of shops that you're able to find in the levels themselves, though unfortunately you can't buy them outside of the levels, which would be nice. The abilities could really come in handy if you were able to get a hold of the ones you really want to use easier. Since it's random drops from enemies, as well as the ones in the shop are randomly selected each time you play a level, you may never actually get an upgrade for the abilities that you actually want to use. But even with the relatively unique ability system, the beat-em-up action just isn't that fun. Your character moves exceptionally slow, like moving through molasses during winter. Trying to catch up to enemies, especially ones later on that can teleport and move quicker, ends up becoming more and more of a chore. You do have the ability to dash, but it doesn't do enough in order to help the situation out. I really wish there was some sort of upgrade system for your character stats and abilities, increasing your health, or your power, or especially your movement speed. It would go a long way in helping this game out and be a lot more enjoyable. You do have the 4 playable characters, but they all play almost identical to one another. If there's changes and differences between them, it's almost impossible to notice any. The hitbox in the game are also very hit or miss. A lot of times I would do moves and end up missing an enemy, and other times they would hit me and attack in the front, and I was standing behind the enemy when they did so. The game does have a decent amount of levels and variety to the enemy types that you're battling, and it introduces new zombies that require new strategies farther you make it in. The boss battles are just okay, considering you have to repeat so many of them the farther you make it into the game. It does also feature multiple difficulties though, and you have to unlock each one by completing the previous difficulty, and the most fun for sure will be had if you do have friends that you'll be able to play with, but I find that the game will end up becoming way too boring way too quickly. From technical side of things, the game didn't crash on me, but I did have a few freezes here and there where it would just stutter for just a second or two, which would end up causing me to miss a jump if I was in a platforming segment, or to get hit by an enemy's attack since I was unable to dodge. Bloody Zombies is available now on the PS4 and PC for $14.99. It does have VR support as well as a Platinum Trophy on the PS4, and the VR support will allow you to kind of have a diorama look and be able to see a bigger battlefield and certain elements of the battlefield that the other players wouldn't be able to see. Overall, Bloody Zombies is okay, but there's a lot of better beat-em-ups out there with a lot more charm in them. With everything said, I'm going to be giving Bloody Zombies an okay 5 out of 10. But anyway guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course I hope you enjoyed.